You're in for a real treat today, because you're about to meet not only 3 of your favorite primetime stars, but 3 of my favorite women in Hollywood. Fran Drescher of The Nanny, Faith Ford of Murphy Brown, and Annie Potts of Love and War. Among the 4 of us, we've competed for the same parts, had the same men on film, and shared the same network. But now, with all 4 of us in the studio for the first time ever, who knows what could happen? Like I said, you're in for a real treat. Tall, glamorous, and famous for preserving the best New York accent in prime time. And it's real. Take a look at America's hippest, Nanny!
What is it?
What's the matter?
You killed Imogene!
How? What'd I do?
You ate her!
You ate?
I did not eat her!
She was sitting on the cookie and you ate her!
Oh, come on. Do it.
Grace, look, she spat her out. There she is. Imogene's fine.
Yeah, she's not dead. She's just a little stunned. You okay, honey?
Please welcome Fran Drescher. Okay, my next guest is gorgeous enough to play a beauty queen turned fluff journalist, but she's also smart enough to take on Murphy Brown. Here is Corky Sherwood Forrest in action.
I am having such a wonderful time. I know you think Peter's arrogant, but I can see the bright light that shines within his soul and the rippling muscles of his chest when he wears a tight shirt.
Excuse me, can I just look at a bottle of vodka?
I can't help it. I'm not like you. I can't go a decade without physical contact.
Please welcome Faith Ford. Okay, we adored her as the tough-talking Southern belle on Designing Women, and now she's cut her hair, picked up some major attitude, and put the love back into Love and War.
You'll have to excuse him. The chef here was Jack's girlfriend, and last night she up and went to Paris.
Really? Usually they just move to the other side of town. All the way to France, huh? You must be a real catch.
Please welcome Annie Potts. Oh, I'm so thrilled, you guys. Okay, I promised you this was going to be nice and fun. It's going to be like a pajama party, so we'll talk about sex later, you know? I'll bring some chips out or anything else. Okay. Now, we've seen each other around at auditions and CBS functions for sure. I mean, we've been on the same network and everything else.
Well, you know, remember one time we were the only 2 that showed up to a CBS function at La Costa, and I was late because I was working that day. And when I arrived, you came to me. You take over.
Yeah, you take.
These 2 women at a party are unbelievable. They totally work the room.
We
It's like
work the room.
I sit back in the corner. I'm eating all the hors d'oeuvres.
The ones I've left you.
No, I mean, no, those parties are fun and everything. Yeah. Okay, but let's talk about when we all first started. We've competed for parts.
And we
definitely have competed for
you
parts.
got them.
Or you got them. I'm sure we can match one-on-one. And actually, Annie, one time.
You've replaced me.
I replaced you. Yeah. So we're all close. Did you guys have any, do you have any audition superstitions, or do you have anything that you used to do after an audition? I mean, I always had my bag of raw cashews ready in case I wanted to pig out, because usually I was trying to starve myself or something before an audition. Did you used to do anything before auditions or after?
I usually go shopping.
After an audition?
Yes. I always treat myself. I always say, you know what? You are a trooper. You know, because usually auditions are the most... They are.
They're horrible.
They're horrible.
And you become a professional auditioner.
I always used to get the job when I had an audition on the day that I got my period. For some reason, I don't know why that was, but my husband would always say, friend, because I would be like complaining that I'm putting on my makeup. Look at this pimple. Nothing was working. Nothing looked good. He said, Fran, you're probably going to get it. You always get the job when you go out on the first day period. It's like becoming some kind of a cult ritual or something.
What's the farthest you've ever gone for an audition? Do you dress up? Do you, do anything like that?
I've never had the guts to really dress up and go full. I mean, I read for Flintstones last year, and I actually read with John Goodman, and I kept thinking, should I or should I not? Should I or should I not? And I just never can get the guts to go in there like that. I just know it would be too much of a distraction for me.
I would feel like such a fool. I know that those auditions that I have gone to, and if it's the Flintstones and you go in, somebody's sitting there in their leopard thing with their big pearls around, you go,
okay, I wore leopard and pearls to that audition.
Did you really? Did you really?
No, because it was raining that day, but I came this I came
They were
this
just for the
leopard.
part sometimes, I must admit it. When I was screen testing for Cadillac Man with Robin Williams, my character had a little obnoxious dog in the movie, and I figured, instead of making believe in the screen test that I had one, I would just bring my own.
Your own obnoxious
because,
dog.
Exactly, I had one. I happened to have one, so
How convenient.
I brought him along, and he got the part along with me.
Okay, now what about love scenes? What about on-screen kisses?
I've kissed
What about
a lot of men.
You?
Have you?
It's fun.
It's fun. I've been married. I've been with the same man since I was 15, so it's like my screen kissing is all I get.
Right, yeah. I love some of the love scenes that I've had.
Robin Williams was very hairy. And inspired a lot. Jay Leno was a great kisser.
He was?
He was?
Yes.
What did you kiss
Really
him in?
great. American Hot Wax many years ago.
And you still remember it?
Yes. I did feel something. It was a bit tingly and not altogether unpleasant.
Actually, we have something for you from Jay.
Oh.
Hello, Fran. Hello, Marilu. Well, I'm very excited and pleased that Fran is going around telling people this. But, of course, this is just something that has been written on the walls of ladies' restrooms for, the last 10 or 15 years. So thanks for spreading the word. You're also my best. I'm afraid my lawyers have instructed me that I have to end right there. But you were the best. All right, fine. Again, I can go no further for legal complications, and this is not cable, so we'll have to leave it right there.
Honey, you walked right into that one.
I know. I can't believe
Nobody's
it.
going to believe that wasn't a setup.
I
Really.
know, totally. I'm so surprised.
When we come back, some revealing proof that there was life before prime time for these women. They may be more shocked than you. Stay tuned. We're back chatting with three of Primetime's finest. So, tell me something. Have you guys always wanted to be stars since you were little? Was there anything else? What about you, Annie?
I never ever wanted to be anything but an actress.
An actress.
As far back as I can remember, it never occurred to me that I could do anything else. I think that I thought more about just being an actress on the stage than I thought about being a star. But it seems that from when I was really little, I maybe I was suffering from enormous delusions. But I thought, I think one day a lot of people will know who I am.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people in our business either feel, I think men want to be ball players or musicians, and women want to be actresses.
I'm also a licensed hairdresser.
It's good to have something to fall back on.
That's what I
Wait,
thought.
let me ask you something. Did you do this?
Yes.
Oh, you did a very good job.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, I did. I did my own makeup too.
Did you, But did you want to be an actress before you wanted to be a hairdresser?
Yes, I actually became a hairdresser as, you know, as you said, as backup, because I stopped going to college when I started going on a lot of auditions and things, and I decided that I would have something to fall back on in case. And I was always good at it. I was already giving my father haircuts and stuff.
Now, did you go to beauty school after or
Beauty
before?
culture school, 1,000 hours.
For Saturday Night Fever?
Fever, yes.
Before that?
No.
Because you were already acting then, right?
Yeah, that was my first movie. Saturday Night Fever. I guess, I don't know. I had just graduated. I must have been going to beauty culture school because when I got the movie with Jay Leno that brought me out here, I had just like put in my 1,000th hour of it. So it must have been, and that was all in the same year because they were editing Saturday Night Fever when I went to, came to California to shoot American Hot Wax. So I was on the same lot, so I got to see what it looked like. And I knew it was going to be a monstrous hit, and he was going to be bigger than the Sweat Hogs.
Yes, much bigger.
God, that's really interesting. I never knew that.
That she was a hairdresser or that she was in Saturday Night Fever?
Either one. I'm going to watch Saturday Night Fever again. It's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I remember the famous line that you had to say. We used to quote it all the time because, of course, I saw the film.
Hey, are you as good in bed as you are on that dance floor? Well, are you?
My father, you know, was working in Brooklyn at the time, and he came down to the set, and they said, "I'm sorry, sir, it's a closed set." And he said, "But I'm the father of the star." And they said, "Oh, well, go right in, Mr. Travolta."
And what about you? What about you, Faith?
Me, I wanted to be a housewife for a long time. I think that was what I wanted to do, and I think I decided I had to have something to. My mother said, "You have to do something. You can't expect a man to take care of you." So I think I decided at some point I wanted to do modeling or fashion design or fashion merchandising because I used to sew and cook and do all that kind of stuff. So I thought I could go and, you know, like learn, you know, at Bada or something.
Mm-hmm.
So then I moved to New York and I don't know what happened. I acted through high school, but I never thought I would do it as a career.
You didn't see it as a future? You didn't?
Oh, no, it's no.
A way to get a husband, maybe?
Because it was too fun, and anything that fun shouldn't be what you do. You know, it just didn't seem, it was just something I did for fun for a while, and then this sort of caught up with me as I started working. I thought I better work at this.
Well, we heard that, let's see. We heard that as a teenager from Pineville, Louisiana, you were a finalist in Teen Magazine's Great Model Search. Yes. Right?
Wow.
And here's what they said about you.
Oh, God.
Okay. Faith is involved in speech competition and has won 10 trophies for her skills. She enjoys drawing, designing clothes, swimming, and singing and acting. But wait, we're not finished. You were also... Oh, yeah, tell us about this photo. Look how cute you are. Come on, look how adorable you are.
That was, oh gosh, I was 16 then. Oh my gosh.
This is a star in the making. This
Very
is an actress.
my mother entered me that and entered me in that. I did not want to really do it. I mean, she said take some pictures, we'll send it off. And it sounded kind of fun. She takes me out by a lake and she makes me put on heels and hose. and there's like mud
like that look.
and mosquitoes and it was like, make it look like 17 magazine. She's out there with her Polaroid camera and she's taking all these pictures and I'm going, you know, whatever. And she makes this nice display and she sends it off and she said, I bet you're going to hear from them. I bet you are. And you're just going to have me to thank for it. So lo and behold, I kept hearing it each week. She made it past. She's the finalist. Now she's a semi. I mean, it was terrible. So they brought me out here. So I did. You know, it was one of those things where I said, you're right. I'm always saying that to my mother. And she's the one who, she and my daddy told me, you know, go to New York for the summer and just try it out. Take acting classes and see how you like it. Try to model, you know, because she never got to do what she really dreamed to do, you know.
They both got such cute Southern accents.
I know. We were like, I mean, I tried to get rid of my Chicago accent. It's in there. That's great. Okay, we've got some surprises coming up next for the two of you, too. Nothing too embarrassing. Don't worry. Okay, Fran. According to your high school yearbook, you were in the theater's career program and drama club. There's your picture.
Oh, God.
Were you doing your hair then?
You know, I forgot to wash my hair. I didn't know that. I forgot that we were taking the pictures that day, and I totally didn't wash my hair. Those were in the days where you use that pissed stuff, and so you didn't have to wash it.
My sister Crystal went for a pissed record. She went 16 days without washing her hair. Just the bangs. You just do the bangs, remember?
I would just keep pisting my hair, and I totally forgot. And then Peter, because he was there, said, we're taking our class picture today. And I said, oh my God, I don't remember.
Well, speaking of that, we also have Peter's picture. There he is, right next to you.
Well, that's not going to have any impact until you see how gorgeous.
Okay, but look at how cute that is. The two of you
We're
have the
really
exact
getting
same
better with age, I must say.
Don't you think everybody looks better now?
Yes,
than you did
I
years
was going
ago?
to say that. You know, I mean, we haven't seen any, but I was going to say
Let's
that.
hope they've discovered no one who has any of my early pictures.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, God.
Maybe in the next segment. Well, after all of that, I can't imagine what more you'd want to know, but our audience gets their chance anyway when we return. Okay, we're back talking old times with Fran Drescher, Faith Ford, and Annie Potts. And Annie, we still have one for you. Okay, now talk about going back to the beginning. Take a look at these photos from Aunt Hemp McCracken, who sent us these from Kentucky. Come on, you're adorable there. Now tell us about that. Who are those?
The one on the right is my mother, and the one on the left is my aunt, and I was the little one with the lot of red lipstick on. And the guy who looked like Ricky Ricardo was my father.
My name is Shannon Winnicott, and I go to Hollywood High School Performing Arts. I was wondering if you had any tips for an aspiring actress.
Well, you just have to, I think acting class is very important for any sort of aspiring actress.
Did you go to acting class?
Yeah, I'm still in acting class. I'm always in class because it keeps me sort of, if I was able to work all the time on different things, and the reason I'm in class now is because all I do is Murphy Brown most of the time, and I just want to make sure I can still do other things. So that's why I'm in class. But before then, it just keeps your instrument tuned. I don't think anybody can be taught how to act, but you can certainly keep your instrument tuned. Right?
What about you, Annie? Any tips?
Oh, when people ask me that, I always say, oh, do you have to? I mean that seriously. Do you really have to do this? Can you not live without it? If it's not going to make you sick not to do it, then forget it. Because it's not worth it.
I was wondering, do any of you have children? And if so, how do they feel about you being in the entertainment industry?
I have a 13-year-old and a 2-year-old. And they couldn't care less about what I do. Or who I am.
Faith, I understand, you guys are from the South. You and Annie are from the South, and we were talking about this before. Fran and I are both city girls from urban centers, New York and Chicago and everything. You studied modeling and charm and went to etiquette school and everything else. Do you have any tips for girls like Fran and me?
Speak for yourself.
My mother would say, yeah, right, like she remembers any of it, because I did finishing school. Can you
What do they do in finishing school? I mean, how do they finish
tell
you?
They teach you how to sit in the stand. I'm really supposed to be sitting like this.
You are?
You're not supposed to cross your legs like that. You're supposed to cross them there. And you're supposed to always be able to keep like an aspirin between your knees. That's the proper.
An aspirin, so not too much tension, otherwise it...
Yes, and you don't lean back in the chair. You sit forward. The back of the chair is only a prop. It's not supposed to be.
Okay, everyone in the audience sit exactly like Faith is sitting. Annie, were you taught these things? Oh, Annie,
Clearly
you got your
not.
legs crossed.
It feels very uncomfortable for me.
I know. What about you, Fran? Did you have things what can you teach us as a New Yorker?
Well, always make sure you don't have lipstick on your teeth.
I learned charm school from my sister who taught it in our basement. And she taught us the one thing which was called the graceful hesitation, which was always kind of a third position, you know, like third dancing position, and you'd walk forward, you'd hesitate before you walked into the room. Is that something that they teach you in charm school?
Yeah, they taught you how to walk. I mean, you know, how to turn, you know, you just, you know, it's just sort of one of those things, you know. You glide into the room. Of course, I don't do any of it anymore.
Have you incorporated some of that into your character?
I don't know. I guess maybe it's in there somewhere. I mean, I'm sure Corky went to beauty school if it were, you know, because she was a Miss America person, so they have to learn. They put books on their head. I mean, they really do this. I did this. I put books on my head, all right? And you have to wear the kind of shoes that were high, that were sling-backed, so you didn't have any sort of support, because you always knew that if you could maneuver in those shoes, that you could handle anything. It's bizarre.
I think you should have your own cable show teaching modeling and charm. Okay, well, when we come back, we have these successful women. Ask them how they've managed to have successful marriages. And maybe we can get them to reveal secrets, too. And don't think I won't ask. All right, we're back with three of Primetime's hottest ladies, and all three are happily married. I mean, this is really rare. I would get three people who are happily married on this show. So I think the next logical question has to be, how do you do it? How do you balance home life and Hollywood? I mean, it's not that easy. How do you do it, Faith?
Well, it's a lot of, you know, you have to do a lot of compromising, I think, more than anything. My husband has to be very compromising with my life.
He's an actor, right?
Yeah, he's an actor too, but right now I'm working more than he is. He's doing mostly commercials, so it's sort of like one of those things where he goes to a place and he's called Mr. Ford. And he's got a great sort of, but we talk about it all the time. There's not anything we don't discuss, you know, and I would have it would be horrible if we didn't, and I think that's the key to most successful marriages, to just constantly talk and discuss. And
how did you meet him?
I met him in acting class. We did a scene together. It's so typical, but that's
love
how
scene?
we met.
What was the scene?
He wanted to do a love scene.
I bet.
I picked one that was where I was a nun and he was a nun. Well, because I'd been in a relationship for I'd just gotten out of a long relationship. And it had been like 6 months. I was into being alone, and I just didn't want to encourage anything, although there was definitely that attraction
What
right
was the
away.
first thing you noticed about him?
His butt. He wore these Levi's. He was just really nice, very tight. He laid carpet. So he kicked carpet, you know, and stuff.
Oh, so he was good tone.
Really good tone.
That's going to be the next Stairmaster, kicking carpet. What about you, Fran? How did you meet your husband?
We were in the drama class together and drama club together, and I remember the first time I saw him, he had a really great long layer cut, and
so we've got one butt and one haircut.
Through the hallways, yeah, and I thought that he was more sophisticated looking than all the other boys. He seemed to look European to me or something. And we became really good friends and laughed a lot and didn't want to really be with anybody else. And by the time we graduated, we were definitely like the high school couple.
And how do you balance it now? I mean, because you've been in the business.
Well, we're very good friends, and as Faith said, you know, we do a lot of talking and communicating, and sometimes, you know, you can't figure it out, and then we'll check in with a therapist and see how. And
I was going to say that
they're
too.
very
Therapy is
helpful.
very important.
Yeah, because, you know, I mean, you invest so much in a relationship, and you've been through so much that, you know, like you can always bail. You might as well turn every stone and make sure that there isn't some kind of a cure for what ails it.
And you work together, right?
Yes, we work together. We both write and produce the show The Nanny, and we created it. He's one of the executive producers. And I mean, I think that that's really wonderful for us because it's such an all-consuming project that one of us would be so far out of the loop. I think it would put undue stress on the relationship, whereas now we get to really enjoy it together, and we're really both very involved in it. And it's what we always wanted to do, is work together. I mean, we went to beauty culture school together.
You went to drama club
We did drama club together. We like to do everything together.
Is he a licensed hairdresser as well?
Yes. Only he was like doing like the tease and bouffant hairdos on all the older
Oh, men
ladies.
love that look, don't they? And the high heels and everything. What about you, Annie? How'd you meet your husband?
We were working on a film together. He was a cinematographer at the time. And every actress knows that you always want to be good friends with a cinematographer because you
No
want to look good.
question about it.
I don't think I like that. Like, could you change that just a little bit? Thanks so much. So that's how we met. And we've been together 5 years this month.
Aw.
And I think we are best friends. And we talk a lot. And he does everything I tell him to do because he's learned that that's right.
This is for you, Annie. My wife and I rush home every day to watch your shows, and we especially enjoyed you in Designing Women. Do you keep in contact with the other actresses in Designing Women? Are you going to do anything in the future with them? Or?
Well, I just had lunch with Dixie Carter this afternoon, and we closed the restaurant and laughed so much. So yes, I do still keep in touch, and we were together for a long time, and we're very close. So miss them all.
It's nice when you stay in touch with the people that you've worked with, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, being on a sitcom, don't you find that it's a real family? And that so much of your own personal life ends up being in the writing of the show, and you grow up during those years that you're on the show and everything?
Oh, yes.
We spend more time with our TV family, really, than our real family. It's
True.
so
I
many
can't tell you
hours.
how many times I would call my husband Rob Bird or something like that. Well, we'll continue when we return. Don't go away. Okay, we've got you all warmed up now, so now we're going to go for it. How do you guys, you're all married, you're all successful, you're all beautiful. How do you keep your marriages hot? How do you keep that sex after marriage going? Because that's a really hard thing for a lot of people, and when I talk about it, people are always surprised. But looking at the three of you, I know you have no problems. So what are your... at all. So how do you do it?
You go first, Annie.
Okay, Annie's first. She's got red on, so we'll let her go first.
Of course, she's only been with this guy for 5 years. So what the hell is she going to tell us?
I think Fran might have more information on this. I think she's probably an expert at it by now.
How long have you been with your husband?
It'll be 5 years, July 15th.
Well, that you're married, right?
Yes.
Oh, but how about together altogether?
Together, 6 years.
Okay,
6
so
and a
you've got
half.
5, 6, and how many years altogether? A lot.
20 years.
20 years. Okay. Okay, so at the 5-year mark, what do you do?
We have a 2-year-old. I haven't slept through the night in about 2.5 years. Right now, I love him, and I love it when we have an evening to ourselves, but mostly it's like, hey, what do you want to be, nursed or burped? Get away from me. I think we're going to pick this up after the baby starts sleeping through the night.
Yeah, I think that again, my husband is very compromising, I would say. And it usually has to be, there's certain times for me, it usually ends up happening when I'm at work, which is totally inconvenient. And I'll be calling him up and he'll say, I was there at 8:30, So it's
women like the afternoon, don't they?
Yeah, but you know what? It's very important that I have to remember, and we've learned this also in therapy, that it's like if I'm feeling like, even though if we can't do it, if I'm feeling like I want to, then I should call him and just sort of like let him know that I'm thinking about him. So sometimes that's as interesting or fun as, as opposed to him always saying, well, and me going, oh, I've got a headache and
I've got lines to learn. Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't you find sometimes that sex after therapy is great too because you've gotten it all out of your system?
Yes, definitely. But I think the best thing about it is to be relaxed about it and not put so much pressure on it. It's like it's got to be somewhat spontaneous, but it definitely has to be by both people, don't you think?
Yeah.
It can't be one person wanting another person, you know.
It can't be, honey, don't wake me up.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Okay, come on, you're the expert here, Fran.
Well, you know, I think that like passion comes in waves, and different times throughout your relationship, you like suddenly, you know, get really sparked by the other person, and other times you just kind of are comfortable with each other, but you know, you need to really go overboard with the fantasizing.
Don't you think vacation sex?
But you know, vacation sex is great. We just came back.
Yes.
We had the sexiest vacation. We went to Italy, and we went to all beautiful little places. We drove, and I navigated, and he drove, and we were on the Mediterranean Sea, and it was great. And, you know, I mean, I purposely coordinated this because we had done a really hard, you know, year, and it was a lot of hard work, and I said, you know, we really just need to get into, like, the richness and the lushness of the Italian Tuscan countryside and just kind of drink wine and eat pasta and make love throughout, you know, the trip.
Faith, go call your husband. I'll call mine.
Like that.
My question's out for you three. I want to know what you guys do when you guys are off the set.
Mostly I just hang out with my kids. I find that in the year when I'm working, I work 9 months of the year, and I'm not always available to them when they need me. So in the rest of the time that I have off in the year, I like to be just there for them. I find that my kids are happiest if they just, I don't have to be like on the floor with them or playing with them. They just like to know I'm in the house. And so I just try to be there for them. That's what I do.
What about you, Faith?
I love to cook.
I love to cook, too.
Yeah.
Me too.
We should have cooked on the show.
Yeah, I'm majorly into cooking, majorly into food. My husband and I love
What's your specialty? What's the best thing you cook?
Gosh, I make pretty mean red beans and rice.
Ooh.
Total soul food.
Oh, come on, we can applaud her for that one. But when we come back, the real secret behind our success, the men in our lives. So stay tuned. All right, well, why waste any more time? Let's just bring on our men, okay? All right. We have 4 very handsome guys here, and they all belong to each one of us. And well, no, I mean, each one of them belongs to each one of us. And so now that you know us all a little bit better, who thinks they can match up the husbands and the wives? Okay, who's a good volunteer? All right, well, you're closest. You come on. All right, first of all, let's have the guys go up there and just stand behind any chair. Here, you're going to take this microphone, and I'm going to go sit there, and you decide if this is the right one, or you tell us where to go. You tell the guys where to go.
The one in the blue has to go with her because his hair looks just like he knows how to comb it, and he spends a lot of time combing there. I'd say the third one belongs to you because he just looks.
No, just tell us. No, that's okay.
He just looks like he's comfortable with you. I mean, like, you guys are wearing like kind of complimentary clothes.
Okay, so who's with me?
The third one.
This guy here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you.
And then the last one. The last one with her because they just look like their clothes match. You know, like he's at ease and
They dress alike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, her with him.
Okay.
The last one.
All right, how many people think that this is the right setup? Okay. No. Just stand up and kiss your real husband if you're with your real husband. We'll all stand up. We'll all stand up and kiss your real husband if you're with him. looks like he can do my hair.
I would say.
I like that very.
It's right about 2 out of 4.
That's excellent. I think that's pretty good. Well, I have a feeling we'll have to continue the party later, but first I'd like to thank my friends for being on the show with me. Thank you so, so much. Good job. Being part of it. You guys are so cute. Let's all go over to my house and hang out and everything. We got champagne. Thank you so much for coming. You're all terrific. See you tomorrow.